Jimbo Madison, how we do love you indeed. Guys, how are we feeling? I'm feeling pretty good. After bonus points, I'm going to be up to 102 points this game week. I can see in the chat already that a lot of you guys have got very similarly high scores. A very nice green arrow for me. I'm absolutely buzzing. Absolutely buzzing. It's been a really good game week. So 100-point gang, rise up. Well played. But yeah, the likes of Haaland obviously contributing a lot towards that with the captaincy, but also Bowen, Maddison, Trippier getting some points, Harry Kane scoring his goal. Everything is coming together. It's comeback season. Comeback season is on, and I couldn't be happier. I really couldn't be happier. It's insane, and I can see some absolutely mad scores in the chat as well. So congratulations, guys. I hope you're feeling very pleased. You should be. Enjoy these moments. Enjoy them, because next week it'll probably be time for some pain again. But yeah, congratulations, guys. Congratulations. So, a few things to talk about today. I think one of the main things I want to talk about today, aside from just celebrating, I know you guys in the chat just want to celebrate right now, and I completely understand. We're very, we're very fresh off the high of Madison, I guess. But there are a few key topics I think we want to be talking about today. The first of which is potentially looking for a Mitrovic replacement. Definitely would not be going too early on this transfer. There is potential, of course, for him to be absolutely fine. I guess we'll find out in the press conferences later on this week. But I do think we should kind of identify some transfer targets and potential replacements for Mitrovic, as we sort of did last week. So we're going to do that using statistics, trying to keep things as objective as possible. And we're also going to have a look at some other things such as potential ways of moving out our City players, potential ways of moving out Arsenal players in the future. Who are we holding on to? Who are we going to keep? I think there's lots of things to talk about. I think Mitrovic is the main one, but again, defenders, another big topic, I think, because defenders aren't working. Really aren't working. Like, let's have a look right now. Like, the big defenders. I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with my team as well. I'll show you some of my initial thoughts on what I'm going to be doing with my team as well, of course. But yeah. Let's go by defenders, sort them by price, and we can have a look at these, big defenders. Can we sort? How do we sort them by like round points? You can't. You can only use two. On mobile, you can have to select by a couple. But Trent 0 points, Cancelo 1 point, Robertson 0 points, Van Dijk 1 point, James 2 points, Diaz 0 points, Matip 1 point. Chilwell 2 points, Laporte 0 points, Perisic 1 point, Koulibaly 0 points, Trippier 7 points, to be fair. So Trippier did it. But everyone here and above blanked, completely blanked. We've got a super chat here from 419 Merchant, wants to tell us his score. 125 points, had Maddison captain, Bowen, Almiron and Foden. Wow, that is pretty mad, isn't it? That is pretty mad indeed. Congratulations, my friend. So yeah, these players all blank. So premium defenders not working at all. This seems to be a real consistent theme going on right now, and it ain't good. It ain't good. So yeah, let's have a look at some forwards, guys. I think that's what we want to talk about first. Forward potential Mitrovic replacements. I'm not saying we definitely 100% need to replace Mitrovic right now, but if we do, it's good to have an eye on the prize. So let's have a look at some forwards. So, of course, we are on Fantasy Football Hub's Opta Stats tool. As always, the best stats tool in the game for fantasy football managers, in my personal opinion. If you do want to go check this out and many other tools from Fantasy Football Hub, do go check out the link in the description. They'll be very kind enough to let us use all of their tools throughout the videos and streams this year, which is phenomenal. So, yeah, we're looking at forwards. So, I've selected just forwards. Let's have a look through these now. Let's change the results. Let's have a look at the top 50 and go kind of tick the ones which I think are looking pretty good. So let's go per appearance. Just try and get a slightly better order. We'll go by expected points. Obviously, if you don't have Haaland, what are you waiting for? Get him. Isak, we're not sure if he's going to be available or not. If he is he going to be playing on the wing? Is he going to be even on the bench with Callum Wilson's form? Kane is obviously an option. I think Firmino has to be spoken about a little bit at least. Jesus, are we thinking about him? Let's just tick a load for now. Wilson, Martial, Tony, Darwin, Morpay, Welbeck I think is worth a shout as well. Ollie Watkins actually plays against Nottingham Forest next week, so maybe we're thinking about him. And I guess we'll pick Solanke because I know I know everyone is going to want me to talk about Solanke as well because Solanke is the current hype apparently, or was at least was last week. I'm sure a lot of people will be hyping him up right now as well. Maybe any love for Odsonne Edouard? Probably not. A little bit too rotation risk, I guess. But we've got some nice players here, so let's just show them. And we'll have a look at some of these stats. Let's have a look at what they're good at. I mean, obviously, should we discount Haaland? Because everyone's got him anyway. So I think we'll take him out. Let's remove him. Goodbye, Mr. Haaland. Everyone has you anyway. By the way, we're back on the black currant squash. And who's surprised? Like, it's been an amazing game week. We need to have a black currant squash in celebration of these epic events. Come on. Anyway. So these are kind of the players you're probably going to be looking at your replacements. If you want Daka and Iheanacho, you are joking me. You're really feeling confident about. I'm not even going to entertain the Leicester attackers. I'm not even going to entertain them. I'm not going to entertain Diego Costa either. I'm not going to entertain them. Daka is probably going to get benched like 2 out of the next 3 games. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. But yeah, let's exclude some other players because I think some players on this list maybe are not quite the one. I mean, I know everyone's going to want me to include Solanke, but I mean, it's not. The fixtures are good for Solanke. Like, hang on, let me go to forwards. We'll go like sort by transfers in. He's the Twitter hype that I'm not buying into. He's got decent fixtures. Leicester, Fulham, Southampton. Like, don't get me wrong. These are nice fixtures. But sometimes I feel like with the forwards, we want to be going for form over fixture. We've seen that. You know, a lot of people thought, oh no, I'm not going to captain Haaland in game week 9. You know, he's a bad fixture. But then we kind of forget that, you know, the form often outweighs the fixtures. So people asking for Scamacca in there as well. All right, let's put Scamacca in. But I'll tell you what, I'll be removing him pretty quickly. I think we can eliminate him pretty quickly, but we'll include him for now. Oh wait, have I unselected everyone by accident? Oh no, I know what I've done. It's because I put scam here because Scamacca is a scam. He is a scam. Let's get rid of Watkins. I don't think anyone is going to be too serious about that. He's 7.2 million. That's quite expensive. He's not hitting the numbers. I mean, at least with Solanke, he is kind of sort of hitting like, you know, bad numbers, but at least he's cheap. But Watkins, I think we're going to disclude him. Gabriel Bond says, have Sinisterra and Martinelli. Which one would you drop for Zaha? Cine blanks next week. But Martinelli blanks with my Man City triple up in 12. I'd still sell Sinisterra. Martinelli up against Trent Alexander-Arnold in game week 10 looks pretty good. And then he's got Leeds after that. So Martinelli, I think, is good for the next couple of game weeks. I wouldn't be rushing to remove him. Anyway. Bournemouth should have had a penalty, which Solanke would have taken. Shoulda, woulda, coulda. There's loads of penalty takers in this list. You know, there's nothing to say that, you know, Wilson might not get a penalty next game week. You know, there's probably more likely than Solanke getting a penalty next game week. So yeah, I'm gonna remove Solanke as well. And honestly, I do feel like we need to kind of think about. I'm going to leave Solanke in. Right, I'm going to remove some other players. I'm going to remove Maupay, because his fixtures are not great. Man United, Tottenham, Newcastle in a row. They're not great fixtures. So I'm going to remove Maupay, although I do want to just say, you know, he's in the consideration, but I think we're going to have to eliminate him. We've got to eliminate some players from this. If we're going to pick our guy, we got to eliminate some people. We can't just put every. I know you guys in the chat. I can see you guys in the chat. You want me to put every forward under the sun in this list. But we've got to start narrowing it down. I'm not going to try and increase this list more by adding the likes of Edouard and Bamford. Look, what we're trying to find the best forward replacement. We're trying to find the best replacement. So, Kane, I don't know. Do we eliminate Kane just because he's so expensive and it would probably take you 2 transfers to do it? I still think he's worth looking at. Jesus, are you going to pick Jesus when he blanks in 12? Probably not. I think that's enough to put me off buying Jesus. If I already have Jesus, I keep him. But am I buying him right now? It seems like it's going to cost me 2 transfers, essentially. I've got to bring him in and then take him back out again. Is he worth 2 transfers? Probably not. So let's remove Jesus from the equation. I think some of these other players can match him anyway. Danny Welbeck is on the list indeed. So let's get rid of those players. We're going to keep eliminating and we're going to try and narrow it down a little bit more, guys. We've got to try and narrow it down. Martial, I kind of like the look of. The fixtures for Martial, though, are not amazing. Everton away, you'll tell me that that's a good fixture. I don't think it is. Everton have the best defensive record in the league right now. Actually, is that true? Now I've said it, it doesn't sound right. Premier League table. I'm reasonably sure that's true. There you go. Yeah, 7 goals against. And they've played the full 8 games. Everton have. So Everton have the best defensive record in the league. And they haven't even had good fixtures. So Martial, Everton away, Newcastle at home, Spurs at home, Chelsea away. I like Martial for maybe this trio of fixtures, maybe. I mean, West Ham aren't even that bad either. Honestly, I'm feeling like Martial might be a pick for the... he might be a fantastic pick for the World Cup break wildcard type situation. Lucas says, hi Dan, and congrats on the score. I have so foul in my team. What should I do with him? Thought he was nailed. Wanted to keep him up to game week 12. I mean, I wouldn't be wasting transfers on defenders right now. That's all I'm going to say to that one. I mean, there's every chance he comes back into the team next game week. I just feel like with the amount of goals being scored at the moment, defenders are just not where, especially not 4.4 million defenders. It's probably not where we want to focus our attention right now. If you really want to make the transfer, then maybe Tyrone Mings would be a good shout. But aside from that, it's kind of difficult to say. It's difficult to say. Anyway, I'm going to eliminate, Manchester United fans, lynch me now, but I'm going to eliminate Martial. I think it's a good one for the future, but I don't think we want him quite yet. Let's keep eliminating players. Interestingly, by the way, Martial took a penalty for Manchester United whilst Bruno Fernandes was on the pitch. Is that a sign that maybe Martial is the new penalty taker at Manchester United? Quite possibly. Firmino and Darwin Nunez, do we look at them or not? I think it's kind of difficult with rotation. Obviously, Liverpool also have 2 really difficult back-to-back fixtures against Arsenal and then Man City. Is it slightly too early for those Liverpool players? Probably. I'm going to eliminate them. Luke with a super chat says, thoughts on Isak, worth keeping or taking out? Wait till the press conferences. Wait for the press conferences. I think he's possibly worth keeping, but I don't want to say that for sure. People saying he just won the pen, that's why he took it. Seems like it's speculation either way, isn't it? I don't know. Matthew says, De Bowen and Kane in for Salah and Mitrovic if he's out. I like that, Matthew. I like that. You think he only took the penalties because he won it? That's never been a rule at Manchester United before. Win it, take it has not been a rule at Man United before. I don't know. Where's Bamford? Where's Vardy? Yuck. I'm not including other. I'm not going to expand this list. We're trying to narrow down the list. I'm trying to make a nice, concise list of players that we should be considering. I mean, if you want to go for something a little bit more left field, you guys go for it. What we're trying to do here, though, in this stream, is try and identify the best replacement, the number 1 top pick replacement. And if we're starting to add other players in there, then we're probably going backwards in that task. Now, I think we probably want to think about... I mean, let's try but per start to try and get a slightly better idea on Scamacca. Still coming out bottom here, even per start. 1.5 shots per game, and he's only started 2 games. No shots in the box. Tragic. I mean, maybe if we expand the range out from game week 1, does it improve it at all? No. Scamacca is still not taken a single shot in the box all season. Low XG. He's got 0.4 XG so far this season in 2 games. These are not the numbers I like the look of. I mean, people are excited. You guys are. I'm getting if we're kind of Archer, Shane Long, Benteke. How far do you go with it? You guys get my point. How far do you go? We go no further. So yeah, okay. I think maybe it's a little bit too speculative to go for Scamacca. His stats are just not there. So we're removing Scamacca. We're removing him. He's going. Andre says, Isak and Mitro, injured 2. Transfer. Should I get Aubameyang? Still a little bit too early for me for Aubameyang. If you want to go for him, I'm not going to stop you. I'm not going to stop anyone. I'm not going to tell anyone don't do that. I don't think it's a terrible pick. But I don't think he's a must-have. I don't think it's a must-have. There we go. Anyway, Kane, Wilson, Toney, Welbeck, and Solanke. That's what we're down to. Now, what's really interesting about Welbeck, if I take this game week range to just game week 9, you can see that Danny Welbeck, 2 shots, 2 on target, 2 in the box, 2 big chances, 0.9 expected goals. Yes, he didn't score. And then on top of that, 2 key passes, 2 big chances created, 0.9 expected assists. So that's a grand total of 1.8 expected goal returns for Welbeck in that last game. And I know that's a very small sample size, but is this the new look Brighton team? They look very, very attacking. They have got, if we look through their fixtures, the immediate fixtures aren't phenomenal. They've got Spurs next, then Brentford away. That's not too bad. Then they've got Nottingham Forest at home, which is really nice. After that, Man City away. You can probably hold him through that. And some of these other fixtures, you can probably hold him through these as well, potentially. I genuinely think, and this one is kind of speculative, but at least we've got a little bit of evidence. On last game week alone, game week 9 alone, Danny Welbeck looks like a good pick. Crump dump in the super chat says Leeds Rodrigo overlooked at the moment. Hope his form returns. It's difficult to say, isn't it, with him coming back from injury. You don't really know if the player's going to come back from injury the same way. Nick Giordiano with a very, very generous £10 super chat. Thank you, Nick. Trying to get to game week 13 wildcard. Going to take first hit of the season as I want James and Zaha. Which duo should I transfer out? Trent and Aronson or Emerson and Salah? I'll need to play Aronson/Emerson in game week 12. I guess I would probably take out Trent and Aronson, probably. I'll probably take out Trent and Aronson. That's what I would do, Nick. It's a difficult one, isn't it? Do you need James? Do you need Reece James? I don't know if you do need Reece James. I mean, it'd be nice to have. I think he'll probably get a clean sheet against Wolves, but I don't think he's an absolute must-have at this point. I think he's a good player to have, but I don't think he's a must-have. If Welbeck had pens, he'd be banging. I know, that's another thing. People asking where I'm getting these stats. It's Fantasy Football Hub. If you want to go check it out, the link is at the top of the description. This is their Opta Stats tool. They've got many tools. Opta Stats is but one of them. It's a good one. So, it depends from here, really, what you're after. Now, I'm actually going to say that in a head-to-head, considering they're roughly the same price, Wilson and Toney, I think for me, the answer to that question is Wilson. Because if we go by, here we go, goal threat, and then go non-penalty XG, you can see that Toney really drops down. He's down to 0.5 non-penalty XG per game. So he really is depending on those penalties to get those real nice high FPL points. Whereas Wilson, non-penalty XG, and by the way, he's a penalty taker. So he hasn't had a penalty yet, but if he does have a penalty, he will be taking it. The only penalty that Newcastle have had has been when Wilson's been injured, and Isak took it, obviously. This is really nice, non-penalty XG. And this is what Wilson does. This is what he does. Brentford are having a tough time defensively as well. That's the next fixture. Obviously, Toney is playing against Newcastle. So, I think, considering that Wilson and Toney are pretty much head-to-head, maybe, because of their similar prices, we can eliminate Toney and bring it to 4. 4 ideal picks for your Mitrovic replacement. Assuming Mitrovic is injured. Maybe Isak replacement too, assuming Isak is still injured. Big assumption, I know. But let's go with it. Let's go with it. Wilson, Kane, Welbeck, Solanke. 4 players on different ends of the price spectrum, I suppose. We've got Kane, a premium, probably going to take you 2 transfers to do this. Are you willing to make 2 transfers? Do you have 2 transfers banked? Even if you do you want to save that spare transfer and take it into game week 12 where we have some problems with Arsenal and Man City. It might be quite nice to have 2 transfers going into that game week, potentially. We have Callum Wilson. Roughly the same price as Mitrovic, slightly more expensive. If you've got a little bit of money in the bank, I think this is the one to go for. If you've got money in the bank, or if you've got 2 transfers that you're willing to use, Wilson I like. I hyped him up a lot last game week. I'll do the same again this week. My mind has not changed on that one. I really like Callum Wilson as a pick. But some people are not going to like this. Some people are going to say, hey, Wilson is injury prone. He's going to get injured next week. It doesn't matter if he scores 10 goals. If he gets injured the week after, I don't want him. If he scores 10 goals, guys, it's not going to matter if you have to take a -4 to get him out. I need to put my phone on silent. It is buzzing all over the place. If he scores you a load of goals between now and getting injured, who cares? People said at the beginning of the season, Erling Haaland, he's injury prone. I don't want him. Would you buy, if you didn't have Erling Haaland right now, would you buy him on the basis that he's injury prone? You'll buy him anyway, right? I know Wilson's not quite the same level, but how many players are we saying are injury prone? You know, people talk about James Maddison as being injury prone. What did he do this game week? People say Jared Bowen is injury prone. What did he do this game week? Like, every player gets injuries sometimes. And the great thing about FPL is when you buy a player, you're not stuck with them. You can go for someone else. You can switch them out. And as long as they perform for you whilst they are fit, who cares if they're injured sometimes? If he was injured right now, obviously don't buy him, but he's not injured, so that's what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. People still asking about the website. It's Fantasy Football Hub. Top link in the description. Maybe I should put something on screen. Fantasy Football Hub. Link in the description. They're class. They're absolutely class. This website is elite. It's elite. I'm glad some of you guys are showing Hub some love as well, because it really is. They've got the best tools out there. Right. Next bracket, Welbeck. If you don't have money in the bank to upgrade your Mitrovic to Wilson, Danny Welbeck, he's your man. He's your friend. Looking very good so far. Under what's the Brighton manager's name? Brighton manager De Zerbi. Yeah, De Zerbi. I was close. De Zerbi. And is he deserving of a chance in your? Is Welbeck deserving of a chance in your FPL team? Possibly. I like him. I think he's a reasonably good pick. I don't think he's an amazing world beater pick, but he's decent enough. I think I quite like the look of him. We've got Solanke as well. He's your real cheap option. If I'm honest, I would try and avoid going for Solanke if possible. But I know a lot of people are not going to like Welbeck, and I know a lot of people are not going to have money in the bank. Maybe Solanke is the default pick. Maybe they want to actually free up some money in forwards. My issue with freeing up the money in forwards is because there are so many good forwards right now. And not only do we want to spend the money in the forward position, because that's where the value seems to be at the moment. Not only do we want to spend our money in the forward position for that reason, but also we want to spend our money in the forward position because we want to have that mobility, right? We want to have that ability to switch between the forwards. If you go down to Solanke and Solanke doesn't perform, you want to move him to the next forward, who are you going to go to? It's going to cost you another 2 transfers to remove him again because you can't afford anyone. There's no one else at Solanke's price. So a little bit of forward planning does kind of make Solanke a little bit less desirable. But he's a great price. He's a phenomenal price. 5.7 million. That's a great price. But is it what we're after right now in terms of trying to maximize our investment in the forwards, trying to have that mobility to switch from forward to forward to forward, depending on the runs of form, depending on the runs of fixtures? Solanke doesn't quite make the cut for me personally, so I'm going to eliminate him. Solanke, you have been... Please leave the big brother house. We're down to 3. Kane, Wilson, Welbeck. 3 different players, 3 different price points. All good options. All good options for me. I like them all. So I think there's no one answer. I think the priority, if you push me for a solid answer, a catch-all answer, for me it would be Wilson. I'd say Wilson is the man. Go for Wilson. Give him a go. I trust him. Whenever he's fit, I trust him. If that's not for you, Danny Welbeck. If you want to spend a bit more, Harry Kane is a great option as well. And by the way, guys, I know people are going to be struggling for captaincy in game week 12. Kane does play against Manchester United, but it's not a bad one. You know, it's that or Salah against West Ham. If we're talking about premiums, you're between Salah against West Ham, which I don't think is an amazing fixture. I don't really like Salah's form either. Kane's form, you know he can score against anyone. You know Manchester United are prone to conceding a couple of goals at the moment. We saw what Haaland did to Manchester United's defence. Can Harry Kane do a similar thing? Okay, probably not. But, you know, it's worth thinking about, right? It's worth thinking about. Harry Kane is a genuine captaincy option for game week 12. Unless you want to go super differential with it. There's an option there. There's an option there. So, yeah, I like Harry Kane as well. So, yeah, overall, look, let's leave it there for the forwards conversation and move on to some other things. But Kane, Wilson and Welbeck, they're my top 3 forward picks for the game week. If you like them, fantastic. If you want to go for someone else, fantastic as well. But there we go. Grub Dump asks, what's your favourite Greg's? Chicken, steak, cheese and onion, sausage, bean, cheese. Probably sausage, bean, cheese. I don't eat red meats. And I count pork as a white meat. Some people do, some people don't. But yeah, sausage, bean, cheese. Class. Absolutely phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. Nick Giordano says Trossard versus Forest is the one for game week 12. Are you going for the captain in that game week? Really? I mean, I like the enthusiasm on that. It's quite risky. There is kind of, you know, we have all of these rules of thumb, I guess, in FPL. And one of them is kind of just only captain premiums, which most of the time works because these premium players do score against anyone. You know, a Salah can score against a City, a Kane can score against an Arsenal, whereas a Trossard, even if he has a really good fixture, there's no guarantee. So I just want to say, don't eliminate the premiums completely. I know Haaland and De Bruyne are not in it because they don't have a fixture. I kind of like it. I kind of like the Trossard shout. Let's see in a few game weeks. It's possible. Giandre says, hi Dan, please compare Auba stats as well. All right, well, let's throw Auba in just for the sake of Giandre's very interesting request. But if we put Aubameyang in there, it's a sample size of 1 game, so it's not very good really. He's had less shots than the others. No big chances, less XG than the others. I know he did score, but he scored from a very, very low XG chance. Only 1 key pass, no big chance created, only 0.08 expected assist, but it's a super tiny sample size, so it's difficult to really. I'm just putting him in there just for the novelty. Really, I would not be taking too much from that. So yeah, for me, it's still between these 3. Personally, I think. So yeah, let's move on. So let's have a look at some predicted points. I'm enjoying this tool at the moment. It seems to be like working really well. The AI is going mad. The AI knows exactly what's up at the moment. So this is the predicted points for game week 10. Again, we're on Fantasy Football Hub. Haaland, De Bruyne, Foden, Cancelo are top. We've got Fernandes up there. Not sure how I feel about that. Reece James is up there. Zaha is up there. So in terms of transfer targets, I've spoken about this already. And spoiler alerts for buy, sell, keep, avoid tomorrow. But we might be talking about Zaha. Let's just say that. Sterling's up there. Bernardo. Lots of Man City players. Martial is up there. I think that the AI hasn't quite caught up with the Everton's defence not actually being that bad. So that's why we're seeing Manchester United players. AI can only do so much. You're going to have to use it kind of with a pinch of salt, I guess. You have to use it within context. But we're seeing loads of Man City players. They're expected to go nuclear. Bowen is up there as well. Wilson is up here as well. 5 predicted points. In fact, if we go by forwards, just as a fun little forward activity, I know this is only for 1 game week. In terms of forwards, Martial, Wilson, Kane, Aubameyang is actually up there as well. Watkins, Vardy, Solanke, Morpay. So the names we were kind of chucking about are all up there. Welbeck's down there. But again, that's the data under De Zerbi is kind of not quite there yet. Martial, small sample size. Aubameyang, small sample size. Don't know. If we go game week 10 to 13, Kane, Haaland, Wilson, hey, there you go. There's another reason to go for Wilson. Wilson is third over the next 4 game weeks for predicted points among forwards. But yeah, early captaincy thoughts. In terms of predicted points, it's Haaland. He's got 10.6 predicted points for game week 10. Anyone going against Haaland this game week? In fact, guys, if you're watching this video as a replay, I want to know in the comments if you're going for a captain other than Haaland. Tell me who and tell me why. Convince me why. I'm not, unless you put up a convincing argument, I ain't even gonna believe you. I ain't even gonna believe you. Ryan in the chat says Zaha the star next game week. And Daniel says Zaha has always been an FPL troll. Swellapele says Zaha will surprisingly struggle. So lots of different opinions on Zaha. Zaha is a bit of a troll and he does divide opinions. It's an interesting one. I still quite like him. But anyway. There's your high predicted points. Early thoughts on captaincy. We're going for Haaland. Like, we're all doing it. Let's not pretend we're not. Like I say, in the comments if you've got something different to say about that, but I ain't going to believe you. I ain't going to believe you. So, okay, that's that. Defenders, I do want to have a look at defenders. Let's have a look at defenders' predicted points over the next several game weeks. We are seeing... Let's extend it by 1 more. In fact, you know what we should do? We should extend it till... When's the international... Well, big international break? It's... up to game week 16, right? So if we go to game week 16 for defenders, long-term defenders, because we don't really want to be messing about with defenders too much, is Trent James, Van Dijk, Cancelo, Thiago Silva, Romero, Fofana, Cucurella, Laporte, Matip, Dyer, Dawson. So a few, interestingly, a few West Ham players in here. There is obviously some Aston Villa players in here as well. Tyrone Mings, 4.3 million. I do think he's worth a shout. Gahey at 4.3. I do think he's worth a shout, especially if we're going for these cheaper defenders. I really do like the look of... For cheaper defenders, I like Fofana. I like... I probably wouldn't even go for Konsa because you've got Mings. I like Gahey. I like Mings. For those cheap defenders. Those are kind of the ones I'd be targeting. So that's our defensive chat talking. Done. That was almost a sentence, Daniel. And let's go now to my team. I want to show you what I'm thinking. This is a strategy stream. I want to share with you my strategy. We're on a couple of big green arrows. What's up green arrow? Last game week, well, 2 game weeks ago, we were 3.6 million. After today, we'll be 1.2 million. So we've cut our rank down by 2/3 in the space of 2 game weeks. It's comeback season, boys. I ain't even gonna lie. It's comeback season. Let's go and pick team. And let me show you. I'd be interested to know what your thoughts are on this one as well. So, we have got... Let's just refresh this. We've got a situation where Mitrovic is potentially injured. We've got a Tyrone Mings, who I low-key want to play, but I don't know instead of who. Trippier, maybe? Do I think Tony's going to score and Trippier to be mudded? Potentially. I've got 2 transfers to use. If I had 1 transfer right now, I'd probably roll it, and I'd just play Mings instead of Mitrovic. But I don't. I don't. I have 2 transfers. I've got to use one of them. Use them or lose them, as they say. So where do I go? Well, if Mitrovic is out for a couple of game weeks, let me share with you some ideas that I have. I have some ideas, chaps. My first idea, that I know you're going to hate, but I'm going to show you anyway, is to go, well, first of all, really obvious, Mitrovic to Wilson. I've spoken at length now that I really rate Callum Wilson. It makes sense for me to go for him. But you can see that, unfortunately, I have 0.3 million in the bank now. So I need to make a sacrifice somewhere. I need to use the second free transfer. Where do we go? Well, Nicholas Popoulos. Nicholas Popoulos down to, wait for it, Guaita. Which, incidentally, leaves me enough money in the bank to upgrade Martinelli at a later date. In game week 12 to a Trossard. Do I dare? Do I dare do it? Trossard is, like, what is he? 2.7? Yeah, so I still got a little bit of room for manoeuvrability, I suppose, in that one as well. I've got 0.1 manoeuvrability. So, this is a thought. This is an idea. This would involve, obviously, now having 1 Newcastle defender. I don't mind that when I look through these Newcastle fixtures. Next 4 Man United probably score against Newcastle. Spurs probably score against Newcastle. Brentford might. Everton probably won't. So we're looking at 1 clean sheet in 4. Yeah, I know, goalkeeper transfer. It's quite mad, isn't it? It's quite mad, goalkeeper transfer. But I've got 2 free transfers, and I need to free up some money somewhere. That seems to be, and this is why I say I knew you guys would hate it. This seems to be, to me, the most obvious way. Because whenever I spend 2 transfers, I always want to make sure that both transfers improve my team. Obviously, Wilson in for Mitrovic, assuming Mitrovic is injured, improves my team. Guaita in for Pope. Does it improve my team? I think it does. When I look through these Crystal Palace fixtures, Leeds, Leicester, Wolves, Everton. That's 2 clean sheets, potentially. How much do I trust Crystal Palace's defence? Not sure. I'm not sure. But yeah, there's a real potential there. I kind of like it. It's not bad. Personally, I'd be dropping Trippier, really. Why? Why? He's so high ownership. It's dangerous to drop Trippier. And he can get attacking returns as well. Pope does get save points, though. But yeah, Trippier is also an option. But where do we go? I don't even know where I'd want to go. I guess I would probably just go cheap. And go for a real cheap defender. Like, not Saliba. Let's move this down. Not Saliba. Not White. Not Share. Like, what's the point? Trippier to Share. That's a sideways transfer. Connor Cody. Don't like his fixtures. Man United, Spurs. Next. Ugh. Could potentially go for Wolves. Nah, don't really like it. Could go for Brentford defender. Don't really like it. Brighton? No, probably not. Spurs next. Brentford after that. Man City in a few game weeks time. Who do you go to? Maybe you maybe go to a West Ham defender potentially. But which one? Go for Creswell? Don't know how I feel about that. Who was on our list? We had a list, didn't we, of defenders who we said looked good. Fofana. Do I want to double up on Chelsea's defence? I guess it could work, couldn't it? I've already got Tyrone Mings. Difficult to say. I mean, that would free up a decent amount of money. Thiago Silva, no way. That's more expensive. If I'm downgrading Trippier, then I'm going to go for someone cheap. I'm taking as much money out of my defence as possible. This is the play, right? We know this. We need to take that money out of the defence. If we want to upgrade our forwards, we're going to find the money, whether it's in goal, whether it's in defence. So, yeah, I've got some options. Trippier could also come out. Pope could come out. Just need to free up some money to get Wilson in, basically. And then I also want to make sure there's a little bit of money free for me to go to Trossard at a certain point. Don't know when. Game week 12. He's got to be in by game week 12, but I could potentially go 1 week early in 11. Potentially. It's optional. Let's see. Gahey. I mean, Gahey works. Gahey works. You know what would be nice if Gahey started getting some attacking returns? Let's refresh the Opta stats. I don't think Gahey's really had too much of a sniff at goal so far this season. But he got some attacking returns last season, didn't he? Yeah, okay, so he's had... I didn't say too bad. In 7 games, it's not great, don't get me wrong, but in 7 games, 2 shots, both in the box, 0.2 XG. What do you expect from a 4.3 million defender? 1 big chance created, 0.53 assists. It's all right. It's not great. It is what it is. But yeah, Gahey works as well. So Trippier down to Gahey actually frees up a lot of money for me, right? Good old Mark. Good old Marcus. And then I kind of have options as well. Like, I could play Gahey here. I could rotate the 2, to be fair. Guys, chat. I like your thinking. I like your thinking. We could rotate Mings and Gahey and then play James and Cancelo for those other slots. Frees up 1 million as well. So I could not only do Wilson, but I could thrive. I could thrive on the rest of the money. Oh, hang on. What's it saying? Oh, I click Willock, not Wilson. Yeah, that would be pretty nice. I like that, chat. I like that. That's pretty decent. But look, I'm not committing to anything else. I do have some other slightly more out there ideas that I probably am not going to do. But I guess we'll see. We'll see. Lots of time to think still. Remember, this deadline is not just a Saturday deadline, but it's a Saturday midday deadline. Quite wacky. Quite wacky. But yeah, those are kind of my options that I'm kind of considering at the moment. That's the main option is to get Wilson in and downgrade. Well, get off double Newcastle defence, because I don't really think I rate double Newcastle defence over the coming game weeks. And get on Callum Wilson. Oh, hiccups. Get on Callum Wilson. And then the main defence I want to target is Crystal Palace. So yeah, Gahey worked in that respect, I suppose. Let's have a look at some other stats. I'm going stats mad, guys. I'm going absolutely stats mad. But let's go have a look at some defenders. Perhaps some cheaper ones. Because we ain't spending money. Alfred Churchill says, love the content, mate. Ignore the trolls. Alfred, don't worry, mate. I try my best to ignore the trolls. I always do. Yeah, it's part of the job description, but I appreciate the support, man. I really do. I really do. Alfred Churchill, by the way, the super chat's in dollars, and that's one of the most British names I've ever heard in my life. It really is. Anyway, let's have a look at some cheap defenders. So let's go defenders. Let's go all season. Let's go per appearance. I'm feeling generous. Let's go price range. No more than 5 million. And Saliba's going to come out on top, isn't he? Hang on. Is he? No. Ooh. Is he? Let's go expected points. He's not. Because we've got some low-minute players. Let's also hide low-minute players. I think that's probably a sensible one. People saying James Justin. I think the time to go for James Justin was probably last game week. Chandra said Doherty. Chandra, you've always got some wild ideas. The lad hasn't even played a single game so far this season, and you want to bring him into your FPL team. All right, well, hiding the low-minute players. Up there is Ben Davies at Spurs, Saliba and White, because Arsenal have had some very good fixtures. We're going to eliminate, I think, immediately Arsenal defenders, right? Let's take it down to 4.8. Because I do feel like even 5 million is slightly too much. Loads of people saying Dallo. Look, I'm not choosing the order of these players. If Dallo is slightly down the list, then he's slightly down the list. Should we tick some players? Should we tick them? All right, let's tick. We're not gonna go for Ben White. Henry, Botman. I feel like looking at Botman compared to Cher, Botman has had more shots on target, more shots. No, similar shots in the box, not quite the same. Considering he's had one of these games was from the bench as well. So let's go per start, in fact, which hopefully is going to... Oh, no, that's dropped Botman down quite a lot, because maybe he took some of his chances from the bench, maybe. That's dropped Botman down, but I still think he's worth including. Zuma is there. I'm not sure if I feel morally as a cat owner. As someone whose best friend is a cat, I'm not sure how I feel about Zuma, but I guess he's on there. Cher, I think, is eliminated by Botman, because Botman is a similar player for a cheaper price. And Botman, I think, is more nailed as well than Fabian Cher. Alright, Nori. Do we consider right, Nori? I'm going to change the game week range to something slightly more recent and see if that does anything different. It does put Tyrone Mings in there, who I think also eliminates Ezri Konsa. Jakob says, Matters captain kind of paid off, but not going to lie, if United didn't have defensive capabilities of a toddler eating crayons, I would be happier. A Manchester United fan, I assume. No, or you just... Well, you didn't captain Haaland, so I guess you wanted him to fail. But there we go. Yeah, I mean, look, you were close, Jakob. You were very, very close. Maybe next time. Maybe next time. To be fair, if you captain Maddison, the loss versus Haaland captainers is very, very minimal. Compared to, like, Tony captainers, Salah captainers, those guys took the real L this game week. Bella Kotchap plays Bournemouth game week 12. Do we trust the Southampton defence full stop? Probably not. Probably not. Patterson is in there, interestingly, but of course we can't have him. Let's put in... Well, I don't know what we're looking for here, really, because I think we're going about this the wrong way. Because I think, first of all, what we want is clean sheets. And that's really going to be fixture dependent. So the fixtures that team has already had, you know, like we see Arsenal are really high up here with lots of players, lots of Arsenal defenders up here. They've had great fixtures with lots of opportunities for clean sheets. Of course they're going to be up there. Let's have a look at attacking threat. XGI. And we see at the top of the XGI list per start across all season. Let's go all season. We see Dallo up there. Hey, Dallo fans in the chat. There's your Dallo. Nico Williams is not only playing for one of the worst defences in Premier League history, but he is also off set pieces now. So those numbers are going to drop, so I don't rate him. Anderson's interesting. He is a decent set piece threat, but he's 0.2 more expensive than Gahey. Rico Henry. What do we think about these Brentford fixtures? Newcastle, Brighton, Chelsea. I mean, Newcastle, good form. Brighton, good form. Chelsea, you know, they're okay. But they're a great team, but they're in okay form as well. After that, maybe. But do we want to be going for a Brentford defender? I think potentially not. Obviously, you've got likes of Botman. I think Tarkowski is worth considering. Maybe 4.4 million. Ugh, difficult fixtures for Everton, though. That's another difficulty. These are just the defenders with the best attacking threat. This is a tough question. This is a really tough question. I don't think I could find the answer to this one, unfortunately. Matthew Vaughan says, could Bowen be out this game week? His finger looked bad. Yeah, typically players don't really miss games from a broken finger, to be honest, mate. Yeah, he carried on playing. You know, I've played football with a broken finger myself. In fact, I've carried on playing with a broken finger. I think it'll be fine. Everton defense decent, but look at the Everton fixtures. In fact, maybe we should get up the old fixture ticker. I mean, we're showing off the whole range of. Where's the? Oh, here is this it? No, that's a calendar. That's a planner. Where's the fixture? Oh, fixture analyzer. Here we go. We're showing off the whole range of Fantasy Football Hub tools. So we want to go defense. Let's go 10 to 30. It's a 4-game week. The best odds of clean sheet are actually Leicester. And then Crystal Palace. But Leicester, I don't know if I trust the defense. Even after today. So it seems like we're back to Crystal Palace. We're back to Mark Gahey. We're back to Vicente Guaita. We have got potentially Wolves there. We've got Tyrone Mings at Aston Villa as well. I know people were talking about kind of Man United, but they're kind of towards the bottom of the fixture ticker in terms of clean sheet probabilities. They're only expected 0.8 clean sheets over the next 4 game weeks. Let's see. Like, what's the road? I'm kind of interested what the rotation would be. You know, if you went for like 2, is there any good rotations here? Kinda, isn't there? Like, if you went for like a Crystal Palace defender and a Leicester defender, for example, you perhaps go this game week Bournemouth, then Crystal Palace on the Leicester, and then then you switch to the Crystal Palace fixture, Wolves at home, and then I guess you'd have a choice for game at 13. Let's increase the game week range to game week. When is it that the international? I keep forgetting this. The big international break starts from game week 17. So game week 16 we need to go to. So from now until the big international switch around, 10 to 16. Let's just make sure we're at Crystal Palace. 1.8 predicted clean sheets. Some decent fixtures there. Leeds. You know what, to be fair, Leeds, Leicester, Wolves, Everton, Southampton, West Ham and Nottingham Forest, you wouldn't be totally surprised if Crystal Palace kept a clean sheet in any of those fixtures. All of those are potential for clean sheets. Probably the ones less so are Leicester and maybe... It's just Leicester, really. Leicester is the only one there. And if you've got a defender that can cover you for that game week, so Aston Villa, where are you? Aston Villa played Chelsea in 11, so Crystal Palace don't really rotate very well with Aston Villa in terms of that cheap defender. So maybe you want to just take the L on. but Crystal Palace look like the defense to target. They look like the defense to target, guys. We're there. That's what we're thinking about right now. Unless you want to go for a Fofana, maybe like Wolves, Aston Villa, Brentford. Some of these fixtures look okay. We're playing against some teams in some decent form. Brentford could score goals. Manchester United can score goals. Brighton can score goals. So the next two look good for Chelsea. But after that, it does take a little bit of a dip. Like, I know Bournemouth are up there in terms of fixtures, but do you trust Bournemouth's defence? Probably not. West Ham are up there as well. So we're really between. Let's eliminate some teams because I think we can eliminate some teams. You're not going to buy, Man City or Arsenal. Probably not Southampton or Leeds. Bad fixtures and bad defences. Man United are probably going to be almost out of the question. Let's leave Man United in. Chelsea is fine for the next 2 game weeks, but I think it goes downhill. Nottingham Forest I've removed as well. Don't really rate it. Leicester, Liverpool we're not going to do. Spurs don't really have that cheap defender. Fulham you're not going to. Terrible, tragic defence. Which kind of narrows us down to these. Is Fofana definitely a starter from Lewis? I'm not 100% sure. I think he should be. They paid a lot of money for him. Leicester defenders do we eliminate? I don't know. I'm keep getting drawn back to Crystal Palace. Without Anderson, Palace defense is shaky. Let's have a look here. How long is he out for? I mean, he's not even definitely out. He could be back. And if he's going to be back soon at least, right? I do get what you mean, though. Anderson is a great pick. And, I think he's even worth considering. Especially if we get some good news on Anderson, he could be worth considering, genuinely. It's maybe time for Gahey. I think it is maybe Gahey o'clock. Potentially. I know Crystal Palace haven't kept clean sheets so far this season, but they played Arsenal, Liverpool, Man City, and Chelsea in that time. They played only 7 games, and 4 of them have been Big 6 sides. And the other ones are Brentford, who are scoring for fun, Newcastle, who are scoring a decent amount of goals, and they kept a clean sheet there. And Aston Villa, I guess, no real excuse, but they only conceded 1 in that game against Aston Villa. You're not going to get clean sheets every game. I genuinely feel like Crystal Palace could go up in these defensive rankings when they start getting some better fixtures. I mean, this run of fixtures is phenomenal. It really is phenomenal. I think it's time to start targeting. If we're going to go for any defenders right now, I know a lot of people are in the lookout. It's Crystal Palace. I think we're done. I think we're sorted, guys. I think we've answered that question. See, this is what I like about these streams. Because it's so early on in the week, I haven't really done all my research. In fact, I rarely do very much research on a Monday at all. The only video I put up on Monday is obviously the tier list video, which is up, by the way, guys. If you haven't checked it out already, do go check out the transfer tier list. But those transfer tier list videos are very much done on either instincts or previous game weeks data, or what I already know about these players. It's not really, because it's so early on in the week and it's quite a quick video and it's just the initial thoughts type video of the week. I don't really have the research. So doing these streams, sometimes, what you're seeing right now is the exact processes I'm going throughout the week. These are exactly what I'm doing when I'm picking players for my own FPL team, when I'm picking players to have a look at in terms of, who to recommend to you guys, I guess, who to include in videos, who to talk about in the videos for the rest of the week. This is what I'm doing. This is basically my life. What you're witnessing is my life, which is why I am so bullish about recommending Fantasy Football Hub, because look how much I depend on it. Look how much I depend on it. A few people having some doubting Thomases around Palace. I understand. That is fair enough. It is fair enough. I understand the doubts. They haven't kept clean sheets so far this season, other than 1. It's not been a great for Crystal Palace, but I just think, with the context of the difficult fixtures and the great run of fixtures they have coming up, it's maybe worth thinking about. We know they're not going to score too many goals either, so those defenders are going to be in for bonus points. If Crystal Palace get 1-0s and 2-0 wins, we are going to see some bonus points for those defenders. Is Mark get? That's one more thing. One more thing we'll have a look at. Then we'll start to wrap up this stream. I appreciate you guys who have been watching for a while. Let's do one thing, and that's bonus points. I want to have a look at some baseline bonus points for defenders. Cheap defenders specifically. So what is the typical amount of bonus points these players are getting? Anderson is very, very high. Considering Crystal Palace have kept one clean sheet all season. And was Anderson playing in that game? He was, wasn't he? But I just want to double check that. Yes, he was. This is very interesting. This is very, very interesting. That number there, 19.67. If he's averaging that many bonus point system points per game without clean sheets, that's pretty high. That is pretty high. I might end up going for Anderson here. Real differential as well. What's his ownership? 2.6%. This is an FPL Mate spicy differential special. I like this. Yeah, I like that a lot. That's going to mean he's going to be picking up bonus points. If he gets clean sheets, if Crystal Palace get a clean sheet with that kind of baseline bonus, that's going to mean clean sheet points and bonus points and big hauls before we even think about goals and assists. Before we even think about it. And he's got good, decent attacking potential. Let's have a look at Crystal Palace in general. And their defenders and their bonus points. So Gahey is second there with 14.57 BPS points per game. That's not bad, to be fair. That's not bad. But it's not quite 19.67, is it? Food for thought. Food for thought. Suela Pele says, Dan, you're nitpicking. Hell yeah, I am. Hell yeah, I'm nitpicking. We want to identify the best. We ain't looking for the second best. If we can get an edge, then hell yeah, we're going to try and find that edge. That's what FPL's all about, right? Getting that edge. Especially at this kind of level. We want to get that edge. I like it. I like it. Got to get that light Dorito off Anderson. You're so right. Jandre says, Dan, I know the sample size is small, but you like to jump on players before everyone else does. Doherty might be good for the next 3 game weeks with Royale out. Let's not forget how good he was before his injury. But the problem is, I don't know if he's 100% available. Like, Doherty is not 100% ready necessarily. And also, at the same time, in my opinion, it's more likely that we see Sessegnon go to the left and Perisic go to the right. And then on top of that, we've also got Jed Spence, who is going to be, at some point, start to be involved and ingrained into this Spurs team as well. So, yes, I do like to jump on players before everyone else does. But I don't necessarily like to jump on a player before they've even started, you know? I know people are saying Anderson's injured, by the way. Yeah, when I say this, I'm very much talking about if he's available, which we'll find out at the press conferences very, very soon. Nigel says Anderson and assist. He got 4 assists last season. That's pretty elite. We know he's got that ability from the set pieces, like big man, kind of target man. That's what he's all about, right? And he's a decent defender as well. But yeah, Jandre, I have to be honest, mate. I think that's too speculative, even for me. I definitely like the way you're thinking. But in my opinion, it's more likely that Perisic moves to the right wing back position, Sessegnon goes to the left, than Doherty getting regular starts. I think Doherty could get some starts, but I think Sessegnon comes in. I think Jed Spence will come in at some point as well. So I'm not quite feeling it, man. I'm not quite feeling it. Anyway, let's start wrapping this up, guys. So we have a quick look at the price changes again on Fantasy Football Hub. Go check them out. Show them some love. We are, of course, seeing Saliba once again looking like increasing in price. Ugh, these casuals, these casual FPL managers bringing in Saliba for a game against Liverpool and a blank game week in 2 games. They're gonna be hit. Like, obviously, if you already own Saliba, fine. But if you're bringing in Saliba now, you want to give your head a wobble. I'm telling you. I'm joking, of course. You pick, like, honestly, you never know. You never know, really, do you? But It's not a move I'll be making. Haaland, again, the two players most likely to go up in price tonight. Targets over 100. Means they're likely to go up in price tonight. Both of them have blanks in a couple of weeks. Cancelo's flying up. He'll probably get a price rise this week. Fabian Schär potentially. Or Sa. Cody. A few players potentially going up, trending upwards. Maddison's definitely getting a price rise this week, that's for sure, isn't it? No doubt about that. Dalot potentially going up. Sean Longstaff. Why am I not surprised? One return and everyone jumps on him. Yeah, some interesting ones. But yeah, the key ones to look out for if you're planning on a move for Saliba and De Bruyne. But if you are, then be aware that they are rising in price tonight. And we're probably going to see some other players rise up in price over the next couple of days. Højbjerg, if you fancy him. But yeah, Cancelo there. Fabian Schär. Sa, Cody. Some players are going to rise over the next couple of days. But there we go, guys. Let's leave it there. We've been going for over an hour now. I really do appreciate you guys tuning in today. Again, congratulations to all of you guys who had those mega scores this week. You want to be proud of yourselves. You really do. It's been a really good week. I know a lot of you guys have been thoroughly researching stuff. The fact that you guys have landed on Haaland captaincy, the fact that you guys have landed on, picking Maddison for this game week, buying Maddison, bringing him in for this game week, Foden, Bowen, whoever. It's not a coincidence. It's not luck. You guys did it. You smashed it, and you want to give yourself a pat on the back. So yeah, congrats, guys, genuinely. But for me, it's over. It's done for the game week. We are on comeback season. Loads of content to come this week. If you enjoyed this one, please do hit the like button. Really helps out the channel so much. Subscribe if you haven't done already. Do go check out some of my other content as well. There'll be loads this week, but I've already put out the transfer tier list video. Please watch that. Please. Check out Fantasy Football Hub if you haven't done already. All of the stuff I've been showing you today is on the Fantasy Football Hub website. And all of their tools are amazing. Link is in the description. You don't want to miss it. This is what takes you to the elite levels, guys. But there we go. Thank you so much for watching once again. And I'll see you later, mates. Bye-bye.